Hello, I'm FKX Toycat, and 1.16, or the Nether update, is coming out in a matter of weeks now, and although everyone knows it will change the Nether in huge, unprecedented ways, not everyone knows precisely all of the features found inside this update, because not everyone's been following every single snapshot or beta update, or indeed the snapshot or beta videos released here on this channel, so I figured it'd be kind of useful to run down all of the major features found in this update, because if you look at a changelog, it's hard to work out what's a real feature, and what's just something as simple as the bamboo being renamed, so I figured as someone who loves vanilla survival, let's go through and let's explain all of the major features in this update that are both for Java and for Bedrock, and yes, there really is that many, so let's jump straight into it. Because first of all, the 1.16 update adds new biomes to Minecraft, except these biomes are only found here in the Nether. So previously the Nether was made up of just one contiguous biome called the Nether. Now there is a biome called the Soul Sand Valley, which is pretty self-explanatory, but it also has a lot more skeletons than normal alongside fossils, so bones is kind of the secondary theme right here, and you'll also find these basalt pillars found littered around the place. The Warp Forest is an eerie new biome filled with Endermen, new blocks, and new vegetation. The Crimson Forest is actually, I think the name explains itself on this one. The Basalt Deltas is meant to be the remnants of a volcanic explosion, and it's filled with magma cubes as a result. It's one of the most visually interesting biomes of the batch, that's for sure, and it's also filled with two brand new blocks, the Basalt blocks, also seen in the Soul Sand Valley, and of course Blackstone. But it is also one of the most treacherous of Minecraft's biomes, as you might imagine, for one that's literally filled with lava and magma cubes and soot. But still, nice biome. The Nether Waste is the fifth biome of the batch, and it's effectively the same as the old Nether, which generated everywhere, but it does have a little bit of new generation. It does have some new blocks, like the Blackstone, and indeed the Nether Gold ore. It's also worth mentioning, if you have existing Nether, the entire thing that you've explored so far will be counted as the Nether Waste biome. So that is 5 brand new biomes in this update. When it comes to fully overhauling existing features though, this update doesn't just stop with the Nether generation, it also adds a brand new use for the 1.14 smithing table. So this table right here was previously useless and now is the upgrade function. So how exactly does the upgrade work? Well, I'm sure you've heard this from somewhere by now, but the new tier of gear is finally here, and now you can take any, diamond weapon, for instance, and turn it into a netherite piece of gear. So yes, netherite exists now, and it's not just netherite swords, which would be a nice feature, but also you can make netherite shovels, and you know what, let's just be honest, you already know about this. No matter what you know about the Nether update, everyone has heard something about the controversy that they finally won-up diamond. There is a new tier of weapon right here, there is a new tier of tool right here, there's a new tier of armor right here, and it is of course the netherite stuff instead. But yeah, I just want to show you this right here, because it is kind of fun to just look at this and be like, wow, Minecraft finally did it. They finally upped the, the top gear of stuff in Minecraft, and this tier can only be found by mining, which is a distinct difference from the one before. Also, I want to mention just right now, if you have existing enchanted Minecraft gear, the smithing table will allow you to keep those enchantments as you go up a level. So my diamond pickaxe with silk touch becomes a netherite pickaxe with silk touch, but it also keep its durability downsides. So just keep in mind, try and have fully repaired, fully enchanted gear, and then you can, after this update, turn it into netherite gear instead, which I think is really nice. So for those of you counting, that is 9 brand new netherite pieces of gear and armor that are going to change the meta, both for multiplayer, but also for solo survival players like myself. I'm very much looking forward to that, but they're not the only items added in this update, because there are 5 others, in case you are curious. There is the netherite scrap. This is obviously something you can get by mining ancient debris in the world, and then by smelting it down into these. Take 4 ancient scrap and 4 gold together, and you get yourself a netherite ingot. This is what you use to upgrade your weapons and armor, of course. And then also, we have the warped fungus on a stick, which, as best I can tell, by the way, has the longest name in Minecraft for an item just yet. Look at the length of that name. It covers almost the 5 items across right here. It is a ridiculously long name. It's effectively a carrot on the stick, but it has a piece of fungi on the end, which is something Striders really like. We also have a brand new music disc. This brand new music disc is really notable because for the first time, damn it, because for the first time, they've actually added in, a music track to the game that wasn't made by C418. If you look, this one was actually made by Lena Raine, the same composer from Celeste and a few other things, but basically Minecraft now has a new track not by C4118, which is crazy. I wouldn't have anticipated that, but this is Pigstep. It's a beautiful theme for the Nether, in my opinion, and we're gonna have to move on because I could play this all day, but we have things we need to talk about, like also, there is a brand new banner pattern. It is the Piglin banner pattern. You can find it in the Piglin Bastions. Basically, it is a way to make this particular banner pattern, which will exist in the wild in a few places. It's basically the Piglin's kind of hallmark card. These are the 5 other brand new items, in addition to the 9 pieces of Netherite, equipment, but also we have in this update a change to another existing feature, because hoes are kind of worthless right now, right? I mean, especially given the current situation, you just don't find as much for use for your hoe as you might before, but now you can officially enchant your hoes, and not just by, throwing stuff in an anvil. No, you can actually throw your hoe into an enchantment table, and you can improve that hoe, and you can add even silk touch to it, in addition to unbreaking, in addition to efficiency, and in addition to fortune. That's right, we can finally put silk touch on our hoes, and the coolest thing about this is if you do get a silk touch hoe that you enchant yourself, and it is diamond, but then later you get yourself a netherite ingot, which again you'd get by smelting up some netherite scraps. You could take this same netherite ingot, you could add it to your diamond hoe, and the enchantments would still carry over. So now you can make diamond and netherite hoes with enchantments. I mean, that upgrade is huge by itself. I'd say the hoe upgrade is pretty wonderful, but also hoes as a piece of equipment. So all of these blocks right here right now don't have a best Minecraft block. I mean, sometimes like shears are the best one for this, but there's no best like standard Minecraft tool you should have on your hotbar. But in this update, they're trying to make the hoe something you bring around, because if you need to break, say, sponges, look how slow it is by default. Look how fast it is with the hoe. Look how fast that just vanished. Let's do the same with the dried kelp block. Wow, I mean, it takes a second. It's not too slow, right? This is the speed of the hoe. If you want to break a lot of blocks, which you might want to do, because especially since Neverwart is one of these blocks, and what do you find a lot of in one of these brand new biomes? Wow, a lot of Neverwarts, and indeed the the Crimson version of it, the Warp version of it. Wow, you can now get that much easier. So many blocks are now broken faster with hoes than they were with your fist, and it means that now there is a real use for hoes in Minecraft. I love this. This is a proud feminist move from Minecraft to really make hoes extra valuable compared to where they were before. I used to think that wasting my gold or my diamonds on a hoe was a really bad idea, but after this update, I might even go as far as to give it some of my netherite, my most prized possessions, because hoes really are valuable now, and I love that for the game. Speaking of enchanting though, 1.16 also adds 3 brand new enchantments to Minecraft. There is Soul Speed 1, Soul Speed 2, and Soul Speed 3. It doesn't take a genius to work out these are the same family of enchantments, but unlike every other set of enchantments in the game, which can usually be obtained by either just directly enchanting something at an enchantment table, or if you find it in some treasure in the overworld, or luckily enough, the way most people get most treasure enchantments is by trading or fishing for them. But with the case of these 3 enchantments, you can only find them via Nether treasure. So as much as I enjoy the phrase Nether treasure, it means that you either have to barter with the piglins, or you have to find it in the wild here in the Nether. Otherwise, you cannot get your hands on some soul speed. What does soul speed do? Well, here is me walking on soul sand normally. Here is me walking on soul sand with soul speed 1 boots. So you're going to see immediately the difference is a little bit, faster, right? Like, okay, it almost feels like normal terrain. It's not quite there, but it almost is. And now if we trade Soul Speed 1 for Soul Speed 3, you can see how we are actually going faster on the soul, sand and the soul soil than we would be on the regular dirt, or as we would be on a normal block. Basically, Soul Speed 3 plus soul soil or soul sand is actually a faster way to get around Minecraft. So this is an incredible thing that almost makes it worthwhile to make soul sand and soul soil pathways, right? Because you can get around the world faster if you're willing to get an enchantment for it. However, the one clarification I will say, because they're obviously meant for the soul sand valley, if you are going to make your own pathway, just bear in mind this will hurt your boots. So you can see how I've already started to wear into these soul speed boots, because every single block you walk over has a small chance of damaging your boots, which means if you go over enough thousands of blocks, you can damage and break an entire pair of boots just by using them in this way. So you'd have combined soul speed with mending, and then it'd be a whole thing. But theoretically, yes, there is a faster way to move around Minecraft. It just means you have to make soul sand pathways, which I think is great, because right now the fastest ways to move around Minecraft, they all involve using bolts or minecarts or elytras and stuff. This one will involve using you, the person, and it gives a real use to soul sand, which ironically is the slowest block in the game, unless you have this enchantment, in which case it's the fastest. I love that personally, and maybe you don't, but something that you might like is the fact that, hey, in this update, there are also 4 brand new mobs. You heard that correctly. There are 4 brand new mobs, not including the fact that there are 2 baby variants, because these are piglins. They are new, kind of like villagers, but they roam around the Nether, mostly found here in the Nether Wastes or in a Crimson Forest. I'd say Crimson Forest is a better bet based on my experience so far, but they are new humanoid-ish creatures, although maybe humanoid isn't the right word, but they're pig humanoids. They look like this. They're kind of fun, and they'll attack you on sight if you're not wearing gold. Something else they'll attack on sight is another brand new mob, the Hoglin. So this is the Hoglin, which again, as you can see, they attack the piglins on sight, and the piglins attack the Hoglin on sight. It's a really fun battle to see go endlessly on in the Nether, because the Hoglin is also great because it's one of the few ways to get good food here in the Nether. Also, in case you're curious, they're hostile on sight on every difficulty that's not peaceful. So even if we're on easy difficulty, this Hoglin decides that no, I don't need to be alive anymore, and I don't like that personally. But yeah, bear in mind, Hoglins are they're basically a pig, but for the Nether, that also can fight back. Do you think that's cool? Do you not, I guess? Oh jeez, what is happening here? Whether you think it's cool or not, the Zoglin does not care. The Zoglin is a brand new mob in Minecraft, which has some of the most aggressive rules of any mob as far as neutrality goes, because it's neutral towards pretty much nothing. This mob will try and attack and kill pretty much anything it comes across, not just, piglins, not just the player character, but also any other mob you throw at it. You might think I'm joking with that, but here are some zombie pigmen, an entire group of them. The one rule is you don't attack them. The Zoglin doesn't care. The Zoglin will attack llamas. The Zoglin will attack anything you throw at it, because again, it's Minecraft's brand new, super hostile, doesn't care about what's going on mob. But we also have one other brand new mob available in this update, and that is the Strider. So the Strider is found mostly in the big lava pits, because in the same way the Overworld has a big sea found at like 63, the Nether has a sea found at about 33, and in this sea you'll often find some Striders around the place. These Striders prefer being in lava. When they're not in lava, they look very cold, as you can see. This is what they prefer to do instead. As you can see, this is a Strider found in the lava, and you can saddle them if you want to. It's very easy to do, and then you can sit on these Striders, and they function basically like Nether boats. The big sales pitch for Striders is it's like a boat, but it's here in the Nether for the big lava sea. So if you want to get around any Nether, because again, this sea found at this lair is found everywhere in the world where there's no terrain directly on top of it. Basically, if you want to get around the Nether faster, and you don't want to make a soul sand trail, or you don't have an elytra, or you don't have a blue ice, there's lots of ways you can do this. One of the most fun ways, in my opinion, is to use the Strider, Minecraft's 4th brand new mob. So all of the brand new mobs are cool in their own right, but it has to be worth mentioning there's a whole brand new mechanic that comes along with the piglins, because if you have gold on you, they won't attack you, right? They become neutral. But if you have gold on you, then piglins will actively come to love you. The piglins want your gold because they really, really like gold. You can tell by looking at them. And if you give them some gold, they will give you something in exchange. There's roughly a 6-second timer between when you give a piglin gold and when he decides what to give you. There's a huge table of what they can and can't give you, but basically you're always going to get something Nether related, and sometimes you can get incredible things like a soul speed enchantment, and in even rarer cases you can get a netherite hoe, or you can get ender pearls. And basically there are really great drops found from the bartering system that is kind of like trading, but without the relationship mechanic. It's just like, hey, do you want to trade gold in exchange for weird niche things? You can do this with piglins, and the benefit obviously of having multiple piglins is not having to wait 6 seconds each time, but instead you can wait 3 seconds each time because you've got 2 guys on the run. So yeah, I imagine piglin bartering farms will become a real thing, because a lot of people do have a lot of gold, and you can turn that gold into gravel, into iron boots of soul speed, which is kind of nice, into obsidian, into a lot of things that you might generally want. It's also one of the best ways to get crying obsidian, but we'll move into that after we talk about the other way to get crying obsidian, because the 1.16 update adds 2 brand new structures to Minecraft. You can see them both on screen right now. Wow, what a cool coincidence. But basically, the ruin portals are a great way of finding crying obsidian, because they are nether portals that basically spawn partially or almost sometimes fully lit, and basically all you have to do is finish off the last few bits of obsidian, because again, they're portals that existed at one point and have now been ruined. So the interesting thing about these structures to me is the fact that they're the first Minecraft structure that generates both in the Nether and here in the Overworld as well. That's right, it's the first cross-dimensional Minecraft structure, which is super interesting to see. We have a lot of mobs which have some version between dimensions, but this is the first time we've seen something something which exists in both, and it's pretty fitting given that it's a portal between the two dimensions. So yeah, every time you find one of these, there's a decent chance of finding some gold, and there's also a decent chance of finding a chest which can contain the missing obsidian right in here, as well as fire charges, flint, gold, enchanted stuff to help you out with those piglins. Basically, if you're going to the Nether, one of the better ways to do so in this update is to find a partially lit portal and to use that as your basis. So yeah, the Nether is easier to go to than ever before. And one of the reasons you might want to come here to the Nether is to try and find this, the Piglin Bastion, a brand new Minecraft structure, and it's one of Minecraft's most intricate structures yet. I would really say this is Minecraft's best structure yet, because it doesn't just come in one variation. There are so many different ways you can find this, because it has 5 major, pieces that it's made up from, but even those pieces have slight different variations, and the chests found in this, right here, are going to be different than the chests found in a bridge, different to the chests found in another one. Basically, there's lots of versions of this, but all of them contain chests which do have rare things inside of them, like crying obsidian, iron, gold. If you're really lucky, you can find some diamond tools in here as well. Basically, there is a brand new structure in town, and this brand new structure is seriously worth coming to for the loot, but just bear in mind that the piglins do not like it when you open their chests nearby them, so that's the kind of trade-off. You can get the new enchantment, you can get some cool stuff that you might want here, but you're also going to angle the locals because you're stealing their stuff that they've hoarded and taken into a little place like this. Also bear in mind, this will spawn everywhere in the Nether besides the basalt deltas, so yeah, it's a pretty universal structure. This update also adds, for the first time to Minecraft, 3 brand new ores. So here are the existing ores in Minecraft, and here is the Nether Quartz, the only thing you can currently find in the Nether, and then there's 3 things that are arguably ores. I mean, is Nether gold different to regular gold ore? I mean, they drop different things, but it is both gold. That's for you to decide. If you count that, you might count the blackstone that's gilded as well, which again sometimes drops gold, so it's kind of like an ore. It's a very different thing to what we're used to when we think of ores in Minecraft, but something that definitely is considered an ore is the ancient debris. This is the only way, of course, of getting netherite hose and netherite tools of any variety, because ancient debris is now Minecraft's rarest ore, and the ore you're going to want to get your hands on if you want to get some netherite scraps by smelting it, which in turn turn into netherite ingots, which in turn turn into netherite hose, another netherite thing. So 3 brand new ores in Minecraft, that's real nice, right? But also in the 1.16 update, you'll find how it's not just ores, you'll find how the blocks extend into a whole host of other places, including the fact that we have 3, read them and count them, 3 brand new buttons and 3 brand new pressure plates, so redstone people can be a little happier with more customization options right there. We've also got 3 brand new walls and 2 brand new fences, so a lot of options for walls, which have significantly changed this update in other ways. Just in case that's not creative enough for you, we've also got in this update 33 full brand new Minecraft blocks. So just in case you're curious as how we get there, the 24 blocks you can find right here, then there's 4 blocks here, then there's 4 blocks here, plus there's Crying Obsidian, a platform we're standing on right now because I just made a giant one for videos a long time ago, but you can see how there's 33 full brand new blocks. They all have their various uses. I mean, Shroom Lights lights up, I mean, Ancient Debris is a brand new ore, I mean, all of these blocks have their own little uses, but to explain 3 of them that aren't so intuitive when you look at them, this right here is a lodestone. When you point a compass at that compass will stay pointed to it forever. So instead of having to have your compass point to spawn endlessly, which might not actually be where your world spawn is, you can put a lodestone in your Minecraft base, and a compass will always point you home, so you can always find your way to the lodestone, to whether that be home or anywhere else. We've got the target block, which was one of the first things they revealed, but basically when the target block is hit, it puts out a redstone signal, nice and simple. And also we have the respawn anchor. So the respawn anchor is a really fun one because it's charged with glowstone, and if you activate it in the Nether, you'll respawn at the point you placed it. If you activate it here in the overworld, well, let's just say we have basically a way of replicating the way beds have always worked in the Nether and the End. We have a way of replicating that in the overworld now, and as you can see, it's pretty disastrous for the wildlife, but it's pretty fun if you want to trick your friends by making a big overworldy Nether and then getting them to blow themselves up. I think that's a fun prank, at least. When it comes to light sources, this update doesn't just add the Shroom Light, it also adds 3 brand new variants of existing blocks. So the lantern becomes the soul lantern, the torch becomes the soul torch, and the campfire becomes the soul campfire. Do you need these things particularly? I mean, if you like blue fire more than red, that's a thing. Right now, though, this is the key question everyone has, myself included. Do you burn blue when you go into one of these fires? No, you do not. The fire that appears on your screen when you get lit up blue is going to be, sadly, the same as a regular fire. I think that's a tragedy, personally. But what you definitely can't count as a tragedy is that 1.16, in addition to all of these, has 24 other partial blocks that are in this update. That is a lot of brand new features. I'll actually just show you all of the blocks on screen right now. The number of brand new blocks in this update is unprecedented in Minecraft terms. I mean, most of them you're only going to find in the Nether, but if you're a creative builder, and who doesn't love playing around in creative, then your options here are so endless. However, it does have to be mentioned, on top of those 80 blocks which are available in both survival and creative, there is a brand new block which is only available using cheats even, because it's not really much of a brand new block. It's hard to explain, but basically Minecraft has the jigsaw block in it right now, which looks something like this. As you can see, it's mostly used for the internal structure generation of Minecraft, but there is a brand new block that you can place in creative if you really want to. Here in survival, it doesn't do anything. But there is another brand new block. I just have to mention it because some people love using these weird blocks to do weird things with, and if that's you, boy, do I have some good news for you, because it's the jigsaw block. But what isn't the jigsaw block is the fact that netherite is not only useful, again, you get netherite by taking the ancient debris, you smelt it down, you get some netherite ingots, take those netherite ingots, and you can make a netherite block. And these netherite blocks, or blocks of netherite, are super handy for just flexing on people. I mean, they also don't burn in fire, which you might see as an advantage in case someone tries to cover your base in lava or something. Again, I can burn, but the netherite block doesn't. But also in this update, the block of netherite has become a brand new thing for the beacon. So yeah, the beacon has changed in this update too, in a way that no one's ever going to realistically use. I mean, besides when you're flexing on people, but you can now use these netherite blocks to make a beacon activate, as you're going to see right here. You can also, if you take the the block and take it into regular netherite ingots, if you really wanted to, you could use a netherite ingot, as you can see right here, to activate your beacon's power. So here is my speed powered by netherite. These are both terrible ideas you should only do when flexing on people, but you know, Minecraft is a game that is definitely not about flexing on people, but it's a game where people do that anyway, and if you want to do that, netherite blocks, I am looking forward to collecting some of these just for the beauty and for the fun of it. So there are so many other changes I could mention and argue they're kind of full. I mean, the Netherwart block changed its texture from this to this, although you probably didn't notice that. Also, the Smooth Quartz was renamed to the Smooth Quartz block. I mean, you probably don't notice or care about that too much either, but something I think is huge that seems like it's small on the surface is the fact that ghasts now generate in the soul sand valleys and the basalt deltas. And this actually, as best I can tell, on Java, but not Bedrock yet, although I imagine that will change in the future. Right now, at least, the plan is to make it so they only generate there, so ghasts will no longer generate everywhere in your nether, only in 2 biomes, and the 2 biomes that are pretty much uninhabitable anyway, right? So long story short, there are only going to be ghasts in 2/5 of the nether, but the way more exciting thing about that is that your existing nether is only going to be counted as a nether waste, right? Meaning that you'll no longer find ghasts in your existing nether chunks, which is a really, really big deal if you have a long-term survival world like maybe I do. So that brings us up to 108 features in the 1.16 update. Oh no, we made a horrible mistake. This is all the worst. Oh no, how will I ever let this one live down? I don't know how I'm going to deal with this, except wait a minute, you know what? There is 109th feature, and no, I'm not arguing that the 222 bugs in this update that are fixed are features, because there are a lot of bugs, some of which I find fascinating, like breaking a furnace, no longer giving you experience for the smelted things inside. That's finally going to be fixed. You will get the experience when you break a furnace. Walking over the corner of lava dealing damage wasn't intentional, it's a bug that's being fixed. There's so many other things. We could even argue that the 3 new songs are 3 new features, but the last feature that Minecraft has added in this update is one they add for every major update now, because they've got a brand new menu screen. That's right, it's only available in Java right now. The one for Bedrock is always slightly different. We'll see that for the final release in the upcoming weeks. But right now, as you can see, the background for Minecraft has changed. The menu has changed significantly, and I love the kind of ambience for this. Also, at least right now, Minecraft Java has changed all of their splash messages to be cutesy little things about how you should really do some things to prepare for the current pandemic or whatever. So Maybe you like that, maybe you don't, but something that I hope you do like is this video, because again, I went through all the features, tried to condense it down into a nice easy list of 109 things that I hope you found useful. If you did, obviously on this channel, we go through these sorts of things every day. I love playing survival, I love playing the vanilla game, and that's why I love following these updates, and if you want to follow them, you can do so here on this channel, as indeed around a third of you have done already. I know it's one of those overdone bits to show how many of your viewers don't subscribe to the video, but I'm just explaining it to be like, hey, a lot of you don't do it. You might think you're the only one, but you're not. And subscribing is really cool because it boosts my ego. Yeah, that's the real play of this. Like, it's just to make you make that number go up. Wow, I want 2 million subscribers. How do I get them? By blackmailing you at the end of a video. No, in all seriousness, I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you want to see more, you can subscribe, and that's a way of taking the YouTube algorithm into your own hands. And if you don't want to see more and subscribe, maybe I'll see you in a future video here on this channel. I hope you enjoyed, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.